Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Eden, we're both
Don't be
on our
jealous,
phone.
Gretchen.
I hate you. That is,
Trying to come
she
over.
lives in like my hometown now and she gets all the good food. And drinks and coffee. I drank so much Florence while I was home on 4th of July weekend.
It's good.
It was bad.
I can literally walk there across the street. It's bad. And actually, it's not good. It's bad.
I hate you. Okay, let's give it a few more minutes for people to walk in real quick.
Oh, there's Alyssa.
I'm getting a pedicure right now.
Nice.
You are.
You getting a pedicure and eating a taco? Is that a taco or a sandwich?
I don't think that'd be a taco at 10 a.m. The taco?
It's a breakfast thing. I don't know.
Breakfast is my jam.
Kind of the
If you
middle.
love me, take me to breakfast.
I don't like breakfast that much.
You're crazy.
neither.
It's my favorite.
I like lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner
I'm
every
finally
day.
past being sick, pregnant, and I can eat some foods now. So I'm like,
Food.
Oh my god, I just like, my life is a joke right now. You're fucking kidding. No.
Life is a joke.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. That's so me. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I think, well, we're 2 minutes in. Give it like 2 more minutes, guys, and then we're gonna jump into boundaries and marketing and price conversations and all of that. I kind of want to open this up as like a Q&A. If you guys have questions to pick my brain, I would love that. Give you a bunch of ideas. One of my employees at my salon had a transfer fill yesterday. I don't know if you guys can see this, but look how chunky it is.
Yikes.
The girl said like her eye was hurting so bad.
This is probably pinching
Pinching what?
because they're so close to the lid.
Oh, pinching her lid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, guys, look at this. I wish I would have brought them. Look how cute these mirrors are about to have.
no,
Those
you
are
can't
so
even
cute.
see, Gretchen. You should have brought one.
I know.
They're very cute.
I was trying to get out of my house quickly before my toddler woke up, but yeah, they're adorable.
Oh, let me tell Karen.
Okay, well, let's start now. Again, please, guys, do not be shy. Like, use this to your advantage 120%. Like, I am here for you guys. Oh, good. We got a bunch of faces in here. For anybody doing clients during this, sorry, because we're talking about clients today.
Here, put your headphones in.
Yeah, put your headphones in and pretend we're not talking about this. But I want to talk about boundaries first and kind of get into that. And then we're going to go into the marketing like Mariella asked for. Is Mariella in there? No. Okay. One second, I'm
He might be iPhone 4. I'm not positive.
no, that's not her. Anyways, so I kind of want to start from the basics for people who, I mean, I feel like this can be like a refresher for anybody, because anybody that gets too comfortable in their business too, like rules start slipping, boundaries start slipping, and it's a pain in the butt. So let's just kind of break it down from the bottom up. And if you have any questions, please stop me. But what I think a lot of people, what I'm seeing in our industry now, which wasn't the case before, is I almost feel like we're doing a lot of like, and this is not us as a group, just like as our like lash community in general, we're doing a lot of shaming to our clients. So they always talk about what we don't like from them, or look what came in, this lady didn't clean her lashes, this lady did this. And I jumped on that train too, probably like 2 years ago when that was like the thing. And the problem I was finding with that is all my clients were so anxious. Like I'd post like a picture of dirty lashes and they're like, I know that was mine. You told me to wash my lashes. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, that's not yours. Like this was like literally like a blepharitis where there's literally like little lice hanging out on their lashes. Like that's not yours. But like it just caused this like tension almost between me and the client. And you don't want that in your business. You really want where they know your rules, they respect your rules, you know where you stand, they know where you stand. And so then there's no give or take there. Obviously we're people, things happen. And so you can have some kind of flexibility, but your rules have to be in place to protect your business and you. And so what I mean by this is like your policies in place, like cancellations, that was one of them. Like, okay, like that's no problem, you need to cancel, like I'm just going to charge your card. And what I've noticed is the best thing you can do, and it's the hardest thing for me to do, is the least emotion that's tied into it, the better. So it's not a personal thing, it has nothing, like you have to treat me and Marley the exact same way if we tell you the exact same thing. We all have those ride or die clients that it's so hard because you know their life. Like us as lash artists, we know every little thing about our clients, and I get that, but it has to be like where you're protecting yourself too, because that's your time away that you could have had another client or you could have been doing something personally. So just having your policies in place. Now, with that being said too, you don't want to have, in my opinion, your Instagram is not the place that you're posting these policies. Your Instagram is not the place that you're posting like, oh, like these are my cancellation policies, these are this, like go to my bubble, all that. That needs to be on your booking site. So every person that books through you sees them and has to sign off on them. I have it digitally, or you can have it where they physically sign a copy of it. But what I learned is when I was putting that on my social media all the time, and like, if you no-show me this, or I've had a lot of no-shows this way, it was almost deterring potential clients. And I view my Instagram as like my portfolio. So I was actually like deterring and like making me look unprofessional to future clients that would probably pay me more and respect my boundaries if they didn't even know that I was flexible before on that. So if you ever advertise like, I'm getting strict on this now, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, like it's just gonna cause like kind of a confusion in your brand, and you don't want that. So I think you should always have them either have to sign on the booking site or sign on a piece of paper that they know your cancellation policies. Anytime somebody first comes to me, I like to explain it. I don't make it this big long thing. I'm like, hey, like I know stuff happens, please give me as much notice as you can. Within 24-hour cancellation, I will still have to charge you full price and before you book again. And if you cancel within 48 hours, I'm going to charge you 50% of the service. That's just to respect my time. Like I said, I totally get things happen, but just know that on my side, if you're committing to this time, like you're going to have to pay. And so I've honestly, since I was just very straightforward about it and wasn't hesitant about the conversation, people are like, hey, go ahead and charge my card. I can't make it. Like, let me know when you can get me in again. And people still send tips and stuff too, which is crazy. So really just like respect yourself in that way. I think that would benefit a lot. I think the biggest thing in our industry, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole full set versus fill thing, that was the hardest thing for me when I was a lash artist, because you feel so guilty. So what I liked to do, and this is just my suggestion, this is not a tell all, is I charge for time. And so I charged per like 60 to 75 minutes. And so if they were only scheduled for 60 minutes and it was a fill, like I was very transparent with them. And I'm like, by the time I wash you and tape you up, like I'm only going to get about 60% of your lashes. And then if you come in 2 weeks again, I'm just going to keep only filling like 60%. Like you're never going to get to a full set. And so I would really suggest booking your time better next time. And so I put it onto their court as well. I don't want bad work out there that had my name on it, but I made it very clear that it was, hey, you lost a lot of lashes this time. We need next time, please extend your time. So putting that back in their ballpark, or, hey, I would love if you communicated if you're losing this many lashes, let's talk about it so that we can get you more time on the books. So then it wasn't like, oh, now you have to pay me $300 versus my $95 fill, right? Like that's a huge difference. But they just knew the time that they were coming in and that my time was worth that. Now, if they had like one lash, I'd be like, girl, this is a full set. But if it's like kind of that borderline thing, I would just do time wise, because they know the more time they get with you, the more lashes are going to be full. So yeah, I feel like the biggest thing, another person said, like price conversations, honestly, the least emotional you are about it and just more straight up you are, you don't have to be mean, but the more like, I used to be like, I know, like I had to raise my prices because costs have gone up. Like everybody knows inflation's here. Lashes are a luxury. Like when it comes down to it, like if they respect you and they respect your prices, the ones that fall off are the ones that almost need to fall off so that you have room for the right ones, and just keep telling yourself that, because it's so hard, especially when you're doing it for a living, that you're like, oh my gosh, like 5 people just canceled this week because of my prices or this, that. I know, but trust me, spend that 2 hours you'd be spending with that client, spend making good content where you can post out. You will attract the right clientele that will come to you and pay your prices and not give you the headache. If you spent that 2 hours, instead of getting paid actual physical money, you're actually getting paid like with time. It will, like, investment into your business is not just money. So please like take that into consideration. And so boundaries with clients goes the same way. Whatever you start them off with, like keep that. And if you do need to make changes, do it like face to face before they leave. Hey, just so you know, I know you've been texting my cell phone. I'm actually going to start having people only message me through my Instagram. Like just set those boundaries up in person so that it's not like this terrible, like, oh my gosh, Gretchen's the meanest lash artist ever. She always lets me text her. And now this, it's that. And so then if somebody were to text me, I do aid. So I ask, I insist, and then I demand. So I'd be like, hey girl, I know you texted me, please hit me up on Instagram so I don't forget this message. And then if they texted me again 2 weeks later, I'd say, hey, I really need you to write me on Instagram. And then if they text me again, I'd be like, hey girl, I know that you have my phone number. However, I've warned you 2 times now. I really need you just to contact me through that. So that can go with any situation. The first time you're really nice, the second time you're a little bit more strict, and then the third time you're like, dude, like get it done. So that really helps me with boundaries with people too, because it can be a lot, especially with people that you're so close with. And so really separating that friendship and that respect for your business. Does anybody have questions on that part of it? No?
I just wanted to add in something, Gretch. If people don't know the rules, they make up their own rules. Because, you know, as humans, we like to live by structure. But if nobody tells me you have to walk this way, you have to go this way, you have to do this thing, I'm gonna have to figure it out on my own. So when you don't make sure your clients know and understand the rules, they will make up their own rules, and they'll justify them in their mind and then fight you back when you do try and set your boundaries. So that's why it's important to set it up from the beginning. Like we have in, I don't remember which one of our ebooks, but an expectation, like an example client expectation agreement, which is like what you were saying. You could have a paper version where they just go and check mark. I won't pull or pick my lashes. I won't book this way. I will message this way. I won't do this. I will do that. And that way you can have it on file that they read and understood and check marked each thing.
And anybody that gets mad over that is just like, they know it's them. They know it's a personal thing, obviously.
I have a little question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have most of my clients, honestly, like you said, the boundaries thing, since I've been a part of this, honestly, I've been proactively enforcing my boundaries, and it's been so much more positive and easygoing. But I do have one client who obviously her retention's always borderline because she just doesn't listen based upon me viewing her lashes. So her retention wasn't that great. I feel like I responded very not too much emotion, very bland, very to the point, you know, let me know if that helps. And she's like, but they only lasted 9 days. Well, at 14 days, I always tell people to come get a refill. And if you're not brushing them, you're not washing them, you're not taking care of them, and you're sleeping on your face, I don't know how to help you. So how is something, or how would you deal with a client like that per se? Because she's kind of a little rough, you know what I mean? And it made me feel defeated.
So just remember, like, we all have like those 1 or 2 clients, and they're not worth like literally when I'm talking about this, if you're thinking of one client in particular, that means that client almost needs to go. Honestly,
She
that's
does need to
my,
go. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
She does need to
yeah,
go, and I'm gonna
but
be real.
But
It's
how I
bad.
would suggest how I would do that is I'd actually put it back in her court. So I'd be like, obviously your lashes are not staying with me, and I've tried everything on my end, and I've tried to educate you on the at-home care. If you say you're doing that, then obviously I can't do what's best for you. So I can give you recommendations to other people in the industry.
Okay.
Normally every time, if you ever like not threaten, but like if you are okay with letting them go, they're like, oh shit, sorry, excuse my language, guys.
No,
Oh,
you're
crap.
right.
And then either one or two things that'll happen. She'll go somewhere else and then it's off your case, or she will realize that you don't need her necessarily, and she will be like, oh, like I should really be respecting this, and you're going to hear a lot less complaints. So,
So
I don't
then that
know
works.
if you guys know this or not, but me and Mariella actually worked together for 4 years, 4 years. And then
Years, I think now.
like 3. And now she opened her own. Like, I'm so proud of her. But we would like go back and forth to each other and be like, oh my gosh, this client, or oh, this client. And she would have a client who her lashes were like 80% full every 2 weeks. You know who I'm talking about. And literally would be like, they're all falling out. I need in immediately. Like, I can't stand this retention. She'd come in and we'd be like, dude, she has like a full set on. Like, is she still your client?
Oh yeah.
And it was more stressful. It was more stressful in that moment that it was like, dude, like go anywhere else right now, please. And come back. You will be back in a second because you will see that your lashes are amazing. So it's just educating and not being scared to lose clients, to respect yourself, but also not being in this like entitled mindset that like your clients owe you everything, because they do pay our bills at the end of the day. And that's why I think like when I see more conversations of like policies and stuff on Instagram, it almost hurts your business professionally wise, because you're hurting potential clients that are coming in that just, they wouldn't even know that that's a problem, and they just want to come to the professional. So if you just lay that down the first thing, then they're good. So anybody who's breaking that to where you need to have that conversation, you need to be having it with them directly with no emotion attached.
Okay, that works for me, because I feel like I kind of literally, I swear, I put myself in your shoes. I'm like, what would Gretchen do? And I was like, you know what? This is my business. This is my brand. And I don't understand why I'm feeling upset about my own business. It's not like I work for somebody, so I have to create these boundaries. So I told her, I said, listen, I want you to understand something. Sometimes I last 14 days. And then there's other times I have stressful weeks. I'm going to the gym. I'm in the sauna. I'm just not caring for my lashes like I typically would. And I have to go in at 10 days, but it's not all the time. It's sometimes. Plus, we're in the dead of summer in South Florida. We've reached, I think it was the other day, 102 degrees. And, she's got very oily skin, extremely oily skin. So like, I'm just stating the obvious here, I said, if after this refill, I said, after I answered her back with like a large paragraph, just explaining retention, cleaning, all that stuff. And I said, listen, after you come for your full set, if you're still not happy, I said, obviously, I'll give you a list of other places to go. I said, but not for nothing. This is just the nature of the beast. This is a semi-permanent thing. It's not permanent. You know what I mean? They're lash extensions. It's a luxury lash service. And after that, she's like, I'm not even irritated. She was okay. I actually got to talk her down,
Well, and once now you've said it, so now don't be going over cleaning and all that again, because you've already communicated that, you've already educated her, you've done your part. And so then just almost be okay that if like that relationship doesn't work out, like I always try, can you guys hear me, or is it going weird? If because dollars is not worth the stress, like just tell yourself that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes,
Right. And I was just listening to what you said just now with your conversation, and I was referencing back on one of our client conversation scripts, and you were dead on, exactly like you said. I set you up this way. I expect this. If you're not performing this, then I don't know what to do for you. That's on you then.
And let's all be real. All of us that do have lash extensions, I know when I'm a terrible lash client for the week. And it's way it's way easier to blame my lash tech for it than myself. But I like,
we're targets.
But at the end of the day, like, I know it was me. I know I was playing with them. I know I wasn't washing them. I know I was picking at them. Like, there's a million things. But does anybody else have any more questions on that, or do we want to move into marketing?
I have one question. Sorry, I can't turn on. My kids are crazy.
No, you're good.
So this is more so off of policies. I'm right now, I don't have a lot of no-shows, so those are easy for me. Right now, it's just late cancellations. And I mean, I'll blame this on myself. I've kind of groomed my clients to text me and be like, hey girl, can't come in tomorrow. And usually I'm like, okay, it's not a big deal. Thanks for letting me know. And usually my cancellation policy is, if it's in within 24 hours, I'm still going to charge you 50%. But I never uphold it. And the reason is, it's like, one, I could care less just because I do have a big waiting list and I can fill the spot. But my issue is that I am going to be hiring within the next month or two. And just because I'm super relaxed on it, this really has to do with, you know, their checks, and this will make or break, you know, their amount that they're getting if I'm not enforcing policy. So how, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do I start to enforce it now so that by the time that they're on the books, that it's not like, okay, they're not getting paid because of my mistakes. Because I guess they're so used to just like not getting charged that they're just so easy to be like, okay, I can't come in, you know.
And then they're going to freak out on your girl when it
Yes.
happens. So it's good that you're getting on top of it now. So what I would suggest doing that is, like, when that happens, the first one, because you've let it go for so long, the first one's going to be on you. So be like, no problem. I totally understand you need to reschedule. Just so you know, moving forward, if you reschedule, I will have to charge you the cancellation fee due to, or just, I'm going to have to charge you the cancellation fee. Let me know when I can rebook you so that you're kind of going away from it. And then the next time they message, be like, all right, no problem. I'm going to be charging your card that 50%. So like the least amount of motion in it, but you're telling them what's about to happen. And then if they do it again, then you're doing it. I actually had this issue when I gave 2 girls my entire clientele, and that was really hard because I know the people personally, but they don't. And I ended up, because of my too flexibility towards the end of my career, when I knew I was like getting out, it almost screwed my girls because they would get so frustrated when they got a cancellation that I was almost paying them when they got canceled still, because I felt so bad. So get on top of it now so that it's not a Bree problem, it's a client problem.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
And
a lot
I would
of sense.
get cards on file, like 110%. Like I had to do that when I switched to employees, and that saved my bacon in so many cases.
Well, and that's kind of, I mean, again, the nice thing about booking apps, like mine, it will not let you make an appointment unless you put one on. But the issue is that I'm seeing with a lot of booking sites is, let's say you booked an appointment a year ago. People change their cards. I know myself, I lose cards literally every damn week. So the cards are still on there and they're being able to make the appointment, but you go to charge them and there's nothing there.
So I had a list in my break room of anybody who their payment didn't go through, and people would go to other places around here and they'd always make their way back to me. So even if it was 6 months later, I'd be like, yeah, Bree, no problem. I would love to schedule you for an appointment. However, I do need that cancellation fee that you did 6 months ago. So
yeah.
it sucks,
Okay.
but like, that's how you have to protect yourself in that way too. And then they respect you too, because they know, oh crap, she knows, or, oh, like I do, like they're going to just respect your business as a whole, because they just went off and tried other places and they know that they can't get better.
Okay.
Right. And I just want to
That
jump
makes
in and
good
say,
sense.
you could also, if you're in like, making a change, so you're just enforcing your policy, you could also just change it a little and require them to book with 50% down. So that way you're already covered ahead of time.
Do you guys feel like you have issues with like putting down deposits? I don't mind it with like full sets, because I feel like my clients would lose their shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it with fills. People would get weird about that. In my opinion, full sets, 100. I always made them put down full sets, but not unless it was a transfer fill, then yes, but I'd make them pay the transfer fee first. And then charge the regular fill. But if it's like an ongoing client, no.
Okay. Yeah, I've been wanting to do deposits for a while.
Yeah, and I did $25 so that it wasn't too much, but I only had one person in 5-6 years ever not like come after putting a deposit down.
Okay.
And like with Marley said too, like if someone's coming to your schedule at first, like if they put a deposit down, that will be good because it's normally like not your reoccurring clients like having to do that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can see on my booking app if it's I can do just new clients that I have to pay a deposit. I'll look into that.
Well, so do your clients, like when they leave, are you rebooking them or do they go on the site to do it?
90% of them, like if they're fills, they're booking before they leave. I make sure they have at least 3 on the books ready to go.
So see,
But
then they wouldn't even need it.
right. And then new clients, obviously, they book online.
Okay. So that could help too.
Okay. Thank you. That all really does help.
Anything else?
I have a question.
Yes.
It's kind of out of topic, but how do you manage like transfer fills, like pricing wise? And then when you're like, say they have, I don't want to say bad work, but
No, it's
the
okay.
work is not very good.
Work is not up to your
Like-
standard.
Yeah.
So how I did that is I did a set fee on top of it. Mine was only 25. I almost kind of wish I would have done more. And then what I would do is my work was 25 extra, but I put in the disclaimer when they booked it that I would only work on manageable fills. And so
Okay.
I would say, like, if they said that, like, literally one of my employees just sent me a picture or a video a minute ago, I'll send it to you guys in the group, and it's like chunkier than chunky. And she's like, I can't work on this because at the end of the day with transfer fills, what I had to remind myself is normally if someone's transfer fill, it's because their work's bad or they're not happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Two, if I put chunky bases and I'm like destroying their lashes and you try to do the best because you don't want to charge me a full set, so you work around it, and then she can't get into you the next time, so then she goes to Bree, and Bree now thinks you're the worst lash artist because now your name's on that, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's difference between like bad retention, why they left, they moved, like that kind of stuff. But if it's really bad, I always addressed it just with them directly, like, hey, like this is like, I can't work on this for the integrity of your lash. And again, just don't use a lot of them. And then, yeah, I would just charge extra if I could help, because a lot of people were like moving here or they couldn't get in with their lash check that week, so they were jumping in on my books, and that's totally fine, but I'm going to charge you a fee for that as well. Does
Okay.
that answer your question
Sounds
on
good.
that?
Yes. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
You
Yes.
turned into a little bit of a robot for a sec, but you're good. Oh, did she just pop out? I think she logged out and will log back in. That was weird. Oh, wait, she's back now. Hold on. There she is.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. Did that finish or no?
Yeah, if you want to repeat the first part again, what you initially say
you
to
hear
them
me?
if the fill isn't good. Can you hear me?
Yes. If a fill is not good, I just openly communicate, hey, this work, I use the word integrity. That is my key. And I just say, for the integrity of your lashes, I cannot work on this. I would love to do a complimentary removal for you and get you set up with a full set. And I always added extra time on my foreign fills as well, so that I had enough time to at least manage it. But if it was a full set, then they had to rebook.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Sorry about my connection. Anybody else? Okay, so let's get into marketing. I know Mariella said that she wanted to kind of talk about marketing. And I mean, when can you not talk about marketing? That is what everything is. So Mariella, did you have any specific questions when it came to marketing? Is she on?
Yeah, I guess I wanted some more tips on how to market the girls. I'm having a little bit of trouble with that, especially because some of them don't really do it for themselves, which is totally on them. But the girls that are trying, I guess want some suggestions on what I could do to like help them with their clientele.
So I think what really helped is when I was doing the onboarding process, even if somebody was like renting from me, I would, when I'm like letting them in, I sit them down for 15 minutes, but then they feel like they got that time with you. And I just like literally spout out tons and tons of ideas to them. So
Okay.
ideas would be, especially like around like with you being the owner of the business and them renting from you, I would be like, hey, like go hand out business cards, put business cards and flyers out in our lobby. When you go to Dutch Bros, like hand out a specific code to Dutch Bros, like just for you guys. Be in like all the Idaho groups, especially mom groups, guys. That's how I grew my clientele so fast, is I just posted in mom groups all the time. And it's not even that you're like posting your like your service. Can you hear me? Something sounds so weird. Okay. And so like even just posting like when somebody would put every single time somebody in a group.
You sound like a robot
Do you
again.
guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck? Sorry guys, one sec.
Like a
I am
scary
not
movie.
a robot. Yeah, I was like, can you hear that? I could hear it. Here, 1 second, guys. It'll take me 2 seconds.
Oh, there she is. Let me.
Okay, can you see me, hear me?
Yes.
I can't see you.
Okay, sorry. You can't see me?
Oh, there you are.
Okay. This stupid survey here, no internet with the new warehouse. Anyways, what I was gonna say is in the mom groups, anytime anybody is ever asking for a lash tech, my trick is I always post a picture of my Instagram profile. So there's tons of different pictures so that you can post, you can show your work and you'd say, I'd love to help you. And then I always slide in with like a little flyer that I just made on Canva into their DMs and send it to them. And I'm like, hey, I would love to have you $15 off your first service with me.
Yeah, it's a
Can you
really
hear
good.
me?
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people don't do that. So that would be huge. And you're just kind of your way. That's huge. Like anybody who will refer somebody, I would give $10 off to them and $20 or $10 off to the person who comes. That helps a lot. Just getting your name out there, going to any social events. Oh my gosh. So any social events that you see, to jump on that train. I'm trying to think, like we truly, like every person I talked to, I somehow brought up what I did in a genuine way, but like a waitress, oh my gosh, you're beautiful. Who does your lashes around here? Oh, like she's great. I love her. I also do lashes. Even something like that, that's getting your name and your thing in there. And then on personal Instagrams, make sure they're still posting their journey along the way as well, because those are the people, I feel like when you first start doing lashes, people are kind of hesitant. And then as it starts growing, the demand keeps, then all of a sudden those people that were like, hell no, I'd never get my lashes done by her, then they start seeing your work get better and better, and that all these people are coming to you, they're gonna hands down start coming to you. A big thing that I noticed with my girls when I opened my own salon too was that they were giving too many options to the client and overcomplicating the process. So make sure when they're talking to clients, if they're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, hey, I have a few openings this week. What day works best for you? They say Wednesday. Okay, do morning or afternoon? And then they say like 11, or they say, oh, probably morning. Then I only give 2 options. If I had 0 appointments that day, I would still only give, 10 a.m. I have 10 a.m. or 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. And then even if they're like, oh, can you do noon? No, like this is the biggest like client hack, you guys.
you can't do noon. Even though you can do noon, you can't do noon because then it just seems like you're way too available. So, unfortunately, these are the only spots I have. Then people will make it work. People will make it happen. You can be flexible here and there, but when you're building your clientele, you want to seem like you're booked and busy constantly. Like, that's so key. And then for the girls who are booked, that means you need to just be charging more. To be honest, I almost hate when I see like not taking any further clients, because you're just literally like cutting your potential off. You can have like a wait list and stuff, but up your prices so that then those other clients kind of bump off. Like, you deserve to give yourself a raise, and then new clients can get on your books that way. I hindered myself for 2 years because I kept with the same prices because I didn't want to, and then and then when I upped my prices, nobody even blinked, like, at all. And I was like, oh, I could have been making this whole time. Oh, also one more thing with marketing. I wouldn't ever do a fill price deduction. It's just like a psychological, like if they pay $35 for it one day, they're never going to come back and pay $65 the next time. So only tell your girls, or you guys yourselves, only do like a price reduction or like a sale on a full set, or like a foreign fill wave fee, whatever, but don't ever do it on the actual fill itself, because the fill is what actually makes us money. That's what's our long-term commitment. And so make sure that they're not being like, oh, half off the fill or $25 fill for you to try me. Like, they're just psychologically, they're just not they're going to take advantage of it that one time and they're not going to come back. So we want that rebooking. And then when your girls do get somebody, I tell my girls all the time, I can get you new appointments all the time, but it's your job to retain them. So make sure that they're rebooking before they leave, and try to get them booked out like 3 times. Be like, hey, I'm getting really booked. Let's get you the next 3 appointments booked out. So then if you can get that person in there 3 times, they're going to keep coming to you. Did that help at all?
Yeah, it did. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So I'm like, okay, let me just smile at her for a second.
I saw it. I was like, oh my God.
A lot of good stuff. Yeah. So.
And you have to explain to them mindset too. Like, I know Mariella personally, so that's why I keep using her as an example. But like, she literally works from like 9 a.m. to like 9 p.m. and she's booked that whole time. So people see that and they're like, oh my gosh, you're making so much money. But then like, you're like, oh, hey, I have this client. She last minute wants to come in today. And they're like, I have plans. Like, that was so frustrating when I'm like an owner, when I'm like, hey, you're trying to get booked and busy, but you have no flexibility. Like, when you first start, you have to bend over freaking backwards to get those people in. But then once you start, then you can start like actually implementing when you are booked and busy. So I would really like stress that to them, like the obvious of like, hey, like, you have to be in here grinding as much as you can until you get that clientele booked up, and then you'll have more flexibility and like more room to wiggle.
Yeah.
And posting time on Instagram is not going to bring you clients. My girls get so frustrated after one post that they're like, oh, I didn't get anything. I'm like, you posted once in 2 months. Like, that does.
My gosh.
Also, yeah. I would work on photos with them and editing.
Oh, I definitely need to do that, because some of those pictures are so bad. I'm like, girl, no.
I did like a employee meeting or like stuff too, that you can like sit them down and be like, okay guys, today we're going to work on photo editing. And then you do it as like a group, and then it's not so like direct, but it helps so much, because as we all know, our photos, and now freaking reels are going to be everything. Like, you have to be a freaking videographer these days to show up on Instagram. But like, that kind of stuff does sell. So spending that time, if you guys get no-showed, use that time to make content, like invest into yourself in that way. Like, use that time to just bust out as much content as you possibly can. That's going to help your marketing like no other.
I have a question about that. Content and posting, and like, as a busy mom, it's like when I'm working, I can do nothing else, right? So I'm on clients, and then I've got kids, and it's like I struggle with finding, like, is it best to like set time aside these days a week, or like little each day, or I don't know. Do you have any like tips of, as like, you know, working busy mom, like how to best do it so that you like get the content? Because I struggle with that stuff.
it's so hard too, because like with trends right now, you have to get on them within like the day or they're gone. And like I'm still finding that balance too. And I keep doing more trendy stuff versus like actual educational. So we actually talked to a marketing person. I need to switch that up. But my best advice for you would be is take content as you go while you're just scrolling on your phone in your day-to-day life. Save sounds, save ideas. I have a note in my phone that I have so many ideas when I just think of something funny or think of something that's relatable. And then when you have a second, you can pull that up and be like, oh, clients twitching in their sleep. Cool. I'm going to make a reel on that real quick. Like you already have the ideas planned out so that you can just do it. And so just tell yourself, because I'm really bad at like, well, if I don't have a client, I can do this later, and then I never do it. So give yourself like an hour a week, if that. Like if you do that, you can bust out 5 reels easy, and then it's done. Or when your client is laying there, take a video of their eye. I call it the rainbow. Start from like one side of their face, go around. That's a reel, and then put like a fun fact on there. Or when they open their eyes, get their reaction when they're looking in the mirror. Like that's the best part of our job, is when they're super happy with them, right? Or if you see a client like post a selfie, that's content. But just take more videos or live photos while you're working so that you have stuff just to throw in there, because busy mom life, it's so hard, and we don't want to be posting about our kids all the time. But then when you're with your kids, you don't want to be on your phone. So it's a hard balance. So if you just give yourself a set time and like, I'm going to do this, just draft them and then just post them when you have time.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would also add in, don't sell yourself short. If you have a bunch of pictures, make a picture collage with the trending sound. That's totally fine. Be like, let's take a look at my work for the week. And then it's just picture.
Can I add on that?
Yes.
Okay, clearly I'm the worst at social media and I'm trying really hard, but my issue is just like I take so much content and then I go back and look at all the pictures. I'm like, wow, this is shitty. Like I need to fix this. So I think that's my issue. I just get in my own head about videos and pictures. It's not 100% perfect. And then I just don't post. So I need to somehow overcome, like going back and looking at it, being like, okay, it doesn't have to be like perfect. I just need to continuously put crap out.
So what I would do too is like, if you took a video of my lashes and you're like, perfect, take that extra second to review it real quick. And then if you see something you want changed, do it then, because it's easier when the client's there. I know this is easier said than done, but I had to get it in my head. Like one of my clients once was like, why don't you ever post me on your feed? And I was like, I haven't. And she's like, no, you always post everyone else. And I've been coming to you for 2 years and you've never posted me. And she was actually like, kind of like, she thought like she wasn't pretty enough to be on my feed. She said that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, no, like I feel guilty holding you guys up to take content for advertising for me. Right. And she's like, no, like I've always waited for you to post me. And so I had to get out of my head. I had to tell myself, okay, my clients want to be on my feed. They want to be seen. So those unperfect pictures or videos, put it on your story, like throw it on your story. And if it gets a lot of like thing, then you can reuse it. And then, like I said, again, review it. And if it's good, then post it. If it needs something changed, then just ask like, hey, I need to brush your lash here really quick. And then easy.
Okay, cool.
And you do such good work. Like you guys are all so talented that I know how we get in the problem with this social media thing and like this real thing, like we are consumed with it constantly, that like, I don't care who you are, it's so hard not to have FOMO or like have one fear that you're missing a trend or comparing yourself to the next person. I'm not this, I'm not that. Like get that out of your head and just do the best that you can. Your clients come to you for a reason. So be okay with like not being the perfect lash artist, but being the consistent one. And people want to see what you're up to. Like they really do. And so it's so hard when we're like just nitpicking ourselves, but know that like how much our world is changing with social media too. Like I feel like all of us have been in it long enough that it's already changing so quickly that like, how could you not get in your head about it as well? So just be kind to yourself and like give yourself some grace in that area, because it's getting rough.
Yeah.
And I'll just add something, because I typically can come to you as more of a client because I don't do lashes. I had to find somebody. I moved to Montana a year ago and I had to find somebody up here to do lashes because I was like, no, I'm breaking up with my most favorite person in Utah. I'll never have lashes again. So I went shopping on Instagram And I was really disappointed because everyone I pulled up that's like within a reasonable distance of me, their pictures were either from like 2 years ago with nothing updated, or if they were updated, I could see that their work was not what I was looking for. Like there was nobody that was going to do volume. So I didn't see the range of their work. I didn't see if they could do volume, classic, hybrid, whatever. But also the one person that I was like, oh, hers looks good, her most recent picture was from like a year plus ago. So I didn't know if I was going to book it or not.
Got it. Thank you. That's me.
It's hard when you're booked and busy to keep doing that, but remember, this is still your business. So like you're going to grow eventually. So like when you start bringing on people, or when you sell your business, or when you raise your prices and 15 people drop off, like just remember that it is a part of it. If you're booked and busy, at least like it's not like a huge concern, but you still want to stay relevant in that aspect. And so just always think about like, who am I trying to attract, and does this picture attract that? Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? I would like to do an editing photo. I've talked to Eden and Amaris about it, where they taught us how to edit. You guys are so good at that I feel like that would be really cool to see just different techniques about it. I don't know if that's something you guys want to do. The only problem is we're trying to find an app, because we all have this old app that you can't use anymore. And so then it's really hard. But I think that could be really beneficial.
To find one that's like good.
You have it?
No. At least like the stuff that, or the features that I like to use. Like I haven't found one that's like really good, but there's somewhere you have to subscribe to them, but I don't know if that would be like something that you guys want to do.
Okay. I think that would be just like a cool beneficial for people, and like to see different angles and stuff too, so that you guys can kind of start challenging yourself in that aspect. But yeah, I want to help you guys as much as I can. I know like it gets lonely, especially like the higher you go up, the less you start having someone to go to. So like, let's keep it engaged. Let's keep it spicy is like what I like to say, and keep it like our passion going, because the lash industry is changing a lot, and I'm seeing a lot of burnout from a lot of people. And it makes my heart so sad, because this is such like a blessing of a career. And so like anything we can do to help each other, like still feel that fire, that excitement, like we need to be doing that for each other, because this is like a little family where you do have that support and that love. So I hope everybody's in different parts of their walk in this too, which is really cool. So I really like to see where everybody's at, and like the different ideas that like you can bounce off each other. I love seeing in the ambassador group when people ask questions. So just know that we are here, and I think that these calls are beneficial, but if there's anything you guys want changed, definitely let me know. Like my internet connection, so I don't have to sit in my car. But yeah. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are doing awesome. And is there any more questions before we get off?
Not a question, but I do have an app that I love to use to edit, and it's called Lightroom. I'm not sure if I need to subscribe though, but I have some little like settings that I like to use to make my pictures look so good. So I can send them over to you.
Yeah, please do.
I can send you.
Could you like a screen record?
Yeah, I'll do a screen recording with the set that I'm about to do. And it makes it really pretty. Like it makes the skin really smooth. So some clients don't like it when I show like the pimples on their face or stuff like they don't like that stuff. So I like to like put some clarity. And then sometimes I like to use I forgot the word, but it makes the like lashes look either darker or more sharp, if that makes sense. Because sometimes the pictures are kind of blurry. So I'll send you that over when we're done. But yeah, Lightroom is really good. Huh?
Will you send in the ambassador group?
Yeah, I use Lightroom to edit the pictures, and then I use Pic Collage to actually do like those collages that I'll do where I'll put like the eyes like flipped, and it looks really cool. So I can send that too.
Yeah, please do. Okay. Well, I hope you guys have the best day ever. Shoot me any messages and stuff you have, and we'll all talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye, Gretch.
Guys.
Bye.